Hey everybody, welcome back to Houseplant Duo. I'm Nathan. As per our last video, I was showing you what was going on in my cabinets and how much it's been neglected, and there's just a lot to do. So it got me thinking that perhaps you might be in the same situation where things have gotten away for you. All the things that are going on in your life, maybe you're headed to this direction. So when you do get here, I'm going to try and help you so that you're not so overwhelmed. So today we have a very humid day, so I have all the cabinets open, my windows open. I'm letting the humidity get in here. Most of my cabinets seem to be sitting basically 70 degrees, so it's actually really nice and warm. Actually, so I should probably maybe looking to getting a t-shirt versus a hoodie. That's how long it's been since you guys saw me. So anyways, I am going to pull out my table here. I'm going to go through everything that I have in my cabinets. It's time to get rid of the ones that aren't giving me enough love, scope out which plants are going to need what care, which will in turn turn into videos in the following weeks that show you what I'm doing to get on top of them and to show you that it's okay to throw out some plants if you didn't quite make it. So anyways, without any further ado, we're going to get into it. So I have my table here so I can figure out what I'm going to do. So first thing I'm going to do is into that cabinet and start figuring out which ones I don't love as much. Love this one. It's a bromeliad. I just don't have the conditions to be able to hold it. I love it. I really like on how the vines taper down, but my watering has really sucked, and this is basically, that's my fault. I'm not sure what that was. My dark crystallanum, keeping this guy, but I'm also going to be reorganizing where everything's going in this. So I'm going to actually take out everything, I think. Get rid of some of the dead leaves. Just throw it on the floor. That's what brooms are for. So I'm going to put that on the side here. So a couple other ones I have dead. I'm not missing them. So I'm not going to actually use my time. Now I'm going to throw all these out, but I'm obviously going to keep the soil because we can reuse it over and over again. So don't spend more money on more soil. Reuse this, especially if you're not seeing any pests or fungi or anything like that that you're afraid to transfer over. My tortum, I love this one. It's just so messed up and crazy. It just makes me happy. Just another little Hoya. I'm gonna keep that bad boy. This is the one where I showed you that the Hoya had grown in there. It's well rooted. I will separate this at some point and then give it its own little home. I'll take a look at what's going on with this guy and might even potentially pop them together with the other VGI. As much as it's nice to have the two separate plants so you could spread them out, I don't know. I think it's going to really depend on how often I manage to actually get to watering and staying on top of these. If I'm not going to be able to get on top of everything and stay on top of everything is the way these plants need, then I'll put them together just to make my work a little less. But if I'm on the ball and I stay on the ball, then yeah, you know what I mean, be able to spread them out between a couple different cabinets. to have different textures within the cabinets. It's visually pleasing, right? I love the Alocasias, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has the same issue, that they're just so darn hard. Well, for me anyways. I don't think that I'm around enough. I'm usually gone from home for about 12 hours a day, working and traveling to and from work, so it doesn't work out. So I think that I might actually let this guy go, and I'll probably put him on the plant swap or marketplace and see if I can rehome it to someone that will appreciate and treat it better. So I'm going to put him off into a separate category. Here's a clipping of the Ripsalis that I have going on up there, the one that have had mealybug issues. This one in the cabinet hasn't had the mealybug issues, but it is growing out kind of nice. It's just messed up and weird, and it's doing its thing, and I just love him for it. So he's staying. The Aurea staying. So I'm going to probably give this guy a moss pole extension. It needs one. The aerial root has come just like, I don't know, like, yeah, it won't let go. It's just yeah. So I don't know, I might just do the extension and pull this root down into this moss pole and let it go out. Um, I do prefer the clear pots for this exact reason. I used to use a lot of the orchid pots with all the holes in the side, and I'll show you an example of that when I get to it. But this is the exact reason why I stopped using it, because these roots always popped out the side, and then when I wanted to actually change it or upsize it, it was more of a pain in the butt. I like that this keeps it a little bit more contained. It keeps the moisture in a little bit longer, since I haven't been able to water quite as frequent, right? So I think just a moss pole extension on this guy, and we'll find another home. I don't know if I'm going to keep them inside the cabinet yet. They don't require to be inside the cabinet, but they seem to be appreciating it. So being that this one is growing quite straight, it's not sized up too much, that it could actually probably benefit from still staying in one of my cabinets. So time will tell. The linearis clippings, we seem to be getting quite a bit of roots in there. I don't know if you can really see. Well, I guess you can see. The water desperately needs to be changed, but I don't really see very much discoloration in anything. So I don't have any reason to believe that there is any kind of pests or anything like that on this. So I could probably go ahead and try and pot this up soon. I'll take a closer look before I do it. And this is just another Peru clipping that I had. It's been, I don't think I'm going to get rid of it. I think I'm going to take this guy and pop him with my other Peru that you guys saw. Now that he has gone from just a little clipping, it has its roots, and then I'll just reuse the soil somewhere else. So I'm going to put him in the I need to deal with problem. Okay. So Monstera Addisonii, marble, we have a lot of dead stuff happening. We'll get rid of that. These leaves all have issues. They're just terrible. So, but like I said, I have that one new growth coming in right there. So I'm going to track this guy down to the base where it looks like I have some roots here, a node, that I might actually cut these other leaves off and get this on a proper moss pole. It will appreciate that, but I explained to you, these ones are terrible. In a pinch, if you want to get something started until you bring more in, then by all means you can start with this, but they dry out basically in a day, even if it's saturated all the way through. So this will be another one that I have to worry about. I might end up doing a moss pole video soon, of me extending them. There's lots of videos for moss poles out there. If you want to watch them, then that's cool. But if not, if you want to join me and we kind of do this together, then watch for the video coming up soon. So the linearis that was in that far cabinet, I remember saying that I was having mealybug issues with it, so it's thinned out quite a bit. It's done okay in the chunky mix. I feel like it did better when it had a little bit more soil content. If I'm going to change its pot into a solid orchid pot, then that means the moisture is going to stay in, which then maybe I could keep this kind of mix. If I'm going to keep using the one with the holes, then I might add a little bit more of the soil content to it, just to hold the moisture a little bit more, since you get a lot more airflow when you have all the holes. So that'll be coming up soon too. And then the pearls, string of pearls that are just extremely sad. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they're not looking so hot. I don't know if I could save this. It used to do really, really well before I had it in the cabinet, and I moved it into the cabinet because of a space issue that I was having. If you guys have another trick or something, or an idea on what I can do about this to get it back and more up to snuff, then I'm all ears. With your guidance, perhaps I might be able to bring it back. I don't know. I might even just try to start all over again. The old Sorderoy moss pole, it basically all died back. There's nothing left of it. So at this point, I'm going to end up having to just rip everything out of here. I'll reuse this pole. Maybe I'll use that one for, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to use this one for. This one's double wide. I only need a single. I might just take one part off, throw it on top of the Aurea there. Since I already have the moss and there's no other roots in here or anything like that. So it's pretty much clean and ready to go. So I'll peel that apart. All right, so the Tycon seems to be doing pretty good. Roots are starting to pop off, so I don't think I'm going to really do much with this. Even though that the Tycon has the short nodal interspacing, like they're very, very, very tight. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still ended up putting a little bit of a moss pole, even though it's not really anything. It's just going to give me at least a little bit of support to come up. And then those aerial roots, as you can see, have still grown into it. So there is some benefit to it, but it's not really necessary. I think this one I'm just going to have to try to find a new home for. Outside of the cabinet, it does take up a little bit too much space. And now that it's summer, it'll get quite a bit of light in that afternoon sun that I was showing you in my last video. So yeah, I think I'll just leave that at that. All right. So this is my other Aurea. It's never been on the moss pole. This is a mother plant that I had actually cut up. It's in very chunky perlite. Not a whole heck of a lot of soil, but it's got a very good root system in there. As for this, I feel like I might potentially get this on a moss pole, just to allow these to get into, pull in some more nutrients, and then hopefully size up. As for the leaves, I think I might have just snapped a leaf. Oh, no. Woo. So as for this one, I don't know if I'm going to try and maybe cut it back and cut it right here, and then just let it do its thing. Maybe rip off this one leaf that is not doing very good. Maybe if I cut it here, I'll try to find another eye down here so that when I cut this, it'll encourage this growth, and then I'll just get a second plant out of it and figure out what to do. So now that I'm thinking about it, that one moss bowl from the Soderoy, I think might be really good. Just throw this one in because this one is going to need something that a little bit higher. So I'm going to put that with that pole for now, so I know what to do with it. All right, so this is the Splendid. I do have some growth, some new growth right here that looks damaged, but it is growing into the moss pole basically everywhere. Up here, you have another one coming in, but it's not, I don't have any moss here, so that's not helping my case at all. This plant I've actually cut back quite a few times. I really not sure what I'm going to do with this. I like it. I loved it. And I don't know if I'm over it yet. I don't know. Give me your advice. Give me your advice. If you have it, let me know. So as for everything else in there, it looks like that I pretty much enjoy where they're sitting and how it's placed. As part of my next phase, it'll be watering time, which I haven't fertilized in quite some time. So everything is going to end up getting some fertilizer, water, and up to snuff, and I'll just make sure everything else in that cabinet's good. So over here, let me turn you here. Let's drop you down. So as it stands right here, these two cabinets had quite a bit of stuff going on it. So the Cupria, like I said, it needs a little bit of love. We have damage on those leaves. This one's difficult, but when the new foliage comes in is just awesome. I just love the purple that you get from it. And when it's all brand new and it's shimmery and it's just, I love it. I'm going to hold on to this guy. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more attention. I'm going to check out the roots in this and make sure everything's good. I'll do all these plants here, everything that I've taken out or I haven't taken out yet, they're all going to get a pest treatment. Being that summer and you get that kind of drier weather, I find that the pests really are a little bit more active. So everything will get a look over, a wash down, the leaves wash down. Again, don't let that overwhelm you. It's just the next phase. Yes, the Jacqueline. Right. It is floppy. It is dry. It needs some water. With some water, it'll pick up the dead leaves. I'm going to do a closer look on the back sides of these plants, but I don't know if I'm just going to cut this guy right back or just give it some water and see what it does. Nothing bad to say about the mint. He's going to be good. Just he'll probably stay in the cabinet because I've only had it for maybe 3 months or so. So I'm just going to let it live its life right there until it gets to the size of like my Tycon. Then in which case, then I might look into maybe getting it out of the cabinet or somewhere else. But I'm just kind of a little bit sucker for the variety of Monsteras. Not necessarily the Deliciosa, just the plain green. I like a little bit of something happening with my leaves. I like the looks of it better. Oh yeah, he gone. We'll throw him off to the side. Okay, right. So this is going to be probably one of the first ones that I do. I will be doing a video very shortly of the Melanochrysum. 1 second. So here's the second one. So I'm really feeling Like I might actually take these two and get them put together on a proper pole. They're approximately the same size and maturity. This one had thrips quite a few months ago. I haven't seen any. I've been trying to be pretty diligent on getting everything sprayed down and kept away from my other ones. So these two I feel are we're gonna put those together. So if you want to see that video, I will rip the one out of that moss pole. I will change it to the plastic moss poles just so that it retains the moisture a little bit more, so I can see, and I'll show you whatever kind of roots it did grow in there. They're not that known as from my experience for having large root systems. So I don't know how much is going to be in there, but I'm going to find out. My Peru has been doing all right. I'm going to hold on to that. Like I said, that other one from my other cabinet, we're going to just pop that into with that guy too. And we'll condense that. All right. Varicosum. I really do love these leaves, and I really struggle with them. They don't size up very much for me, but they keep coming. So I don't know if it's maybe a little bit too hot. From what I've been able to gather is they prefer to have it a little bit on the cooler side when they come down. I would love your opinion on this if you guys have it. Let me know so I could try it, so I can report back. And credit goes all to you, that's for sure. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy yet, so he's just going to get thrown off to the side. I am going to keep him. And I said I might actually cut it, but I need to see what's going on here, so it'll be a closer look. So we'll just put him out to the side. Something we'll deal with him later. Those guys seem to be doing pretty good. All right, aside from a leaf, we're good. And string of turtles seems to be holding. They're very shallow root. It has done fairly well in this cabinet. For the most part, is at least it's consistent where coming out of winter, the changing of the seasons, you get very dry. And I try to maintain as much consistency as I can, which is the reason why I have the cabinets. So at least if I'm going to be a failure as a plant parent, you know what I mean, for that week or whatever, then at least it has a fighting chance because I've at least given it something to work with, right? You know, I'm difficult to work with. What can I say? All right, over here. Bring it a little bit closer. No, bring it way closer because I'm old now and I don't want to crawl on my knees. Okay, in here, here's some more dragon scale. This guy's doing fairly well. Nothing crazy. I might ditch this one as well as a marketplace thing and throw it with the other guy. Because as much as I do love it, I do have a little bit more of a harder time, right? So we're going to put him off. We'll decide what I'm going to do with him later. Veitchii needs a little bit of water. It's not dry up here. It does have a little bit of a wick system. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. You can see the wick goes up into the other cup. It is actually, for the most part, appreciated that. I think that with these leaves shooting up, that it's trying to get a little bit more light. So I might actually elevate him a little bit more so the light that's above isn't way up here and it's closer to here, and hopefully that'll turn these leaves down, right? But again, I might pot him up with the other Veitchii. And then try to create somewhat of a similar system since it seems to be working. So that consistent watering that it seems to be able to pull in. Looks like somebody before me knew what they were doing. So maybe I should just call them up again. This one I do want to keep. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is variegated. It's done pretty good inside my cabinets. And like it gets enough light. This one I seem to be on top of enough where I'm not getting any mushy leaves. Nothing's dropping down. I do have a little bit of tip burn here, but other than that, we'll hold on to him. He'll be nice for the bottom of the cabinet. So Aurea, another one of my clippings, he'll have to be looked over, cleaned up, just make sure it's good. Once I get my next leaf out of this, then I will probably give it a single pull. The pot's big enough to more than to accommodate where I wouldn't actually have to disturb the root system. At least I don't think so too much. And we'll start encouraging this guy to grow up. I don't think I'll keep him forever, but at least if I grow him out right now, then I can sell it on a marketplace later and give somebody something to start with. Something if they really liked it, they can get going. It's a newer clipping that I got. It is Burl Marks Flame, which I didn't explain to you last time. It is just a fresh cutting. It is in a baggie. If you're watching this and you're the one that gave this to me that lives nearby, thank you. I still have not taken out of it. Everything, there's lots of moisture in here, so I felt no need to change what's going on. Those roots can pull it up, but I'm excited to take a look at this, and I will get this guy potted up soon enough, right? Those that have watched some of my other channels knows that I'm just part of the duo. Crystal, which is my neighbor 2 doors over, also has the same plant, and she's been nurturing hers for a little while. They're ridiculously slow growing, but I am so excited to see what it actually turns out into, like to see it in person, because if you see pictures of them, they're just amazing. Like that's a gorgeous leaf, and I want that. I want that. All right, so we got a keeper. Yeah, I think it's like a Dark Lord or something. By all means, throw in the comments if you know what this is. Exactly. It lives in the bottom of the cabinet, so it does get the evening, maybe for about 30 minutes. I have a Brina T8 in there. Let me know what you find for lighting, if it prefers to be a little bit tucked back, because I know that dark leaves tend to not need as much light. So let me know, because I would like to get this guy to go, because I really appreciate this dark foliage and would like to see it grow. Okay. Wow. All right. We're going to do this in 2 parts. Oh dear. I think this might have grown into the moss of my elbow. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do this in 2 pieces. All right. So there's the Raphidophora tetrasperma, or the mini Monstera. I really like these leaves. They're pretty, but this one has grown down into it. Woo. All right, we've separated. So that was in the other one. I take him off. It only has one of its original leaves that need to come off down here. But see that spine? So that guy is going to get paired up with this guy. So I'll make a video on getting these guys together. Talking if you guys want a little bit more information about it. But again, with my lack of care, I have not tied this one up. So what I'll end up having to do is get all these other roots into this pole, get it tied up, encourage that growth, get another one on here, attach these ones to it, and then I'll have a nice big bushy one. So the intention for this one is to get the second one on. I will give it so it'll basically, by the time I'm done, it'll have 3 or 4 shoots, moss tops. And I think I'm going to maybe take it out of the cabinet. It doesn't really necessarily need to be in the cabinet, but I'm thinking that beside this cabinet, right where this spider plant is, I might actually stick it there, so it will pill off the lights from my Soltec, and then from this window, when we get the evening sun, it'll be good. It's a lot of talking. Okay, so Burl Marks Fantasy seems to be doing okay. A couple dead leaves. I'm going to look it over for any pests. I'll give it its wash. I have a new leaf coming in right here. All right, so I would like to encourage this guy to go. Maybe when I'm doing the moss pools, I'll probably do a video on all these ones so you can see the different ones go through. But just to kind of get it up, ready, and prepared for when this actually gets to be a little bit larger, so that I don't have to kind of go back and forth. And then finally, but not least, right? This is the obliqua, right? It's got quite the runner. I would love for your help. Like if you watched my last one, you'll know that I'm looking for some guidance on this guy, because obviously I can grow it. It will go. Trying to maintain its health is a little bit more of a struggle. And the fact that I'm not getting the leaves, I would like to know on how I can do that, or how I could maybe propagate this and get it to be what I want. So anyways, that's it, right? Once you've gone through, see what you want to do, get a basic idea on what you're going to do with each plant, you can leave it at that, right? I'm going to put now all these plants kind of, those that I want to pot together, I'm going to put them together. Those that I want to put up on a moss pole, I'll put the moss poles and I'll put them all together. I'm not necessarily caring about exactly what they look like inside the cabinets right now. It's not a visual thing. It's more of care is the priority at this point than trying to display it pretty. So then at least when you have my little pockets, then I can start going at a specific plant or a specific thing. If I'm going to do a bunch of repotting, I'll do all my repotting. I'm going to do the moss pole, so do all the moss pole. So don't overwhelm yourself. Get yourself in a nice manageable spot. We're looking at 34 minutes right now, so it is a little bit of a longer video. But in 34 minutes, you've gone through 75 plants that you have in your collection. You get an idea, and then pick what you're going to do next, okay? So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. Follow me. I'm not the expert. I've never claimed to be an expert. I'm an enthusiast. It's just me. Crystal when she gets a chance. But, you know, we don't like to go it alone, so we'll figure this stuff out together. Thanks for inviting us into your home, guys. Bye.